Hi everyone, today we're here with you to give you some updates on the war map. Undoubtedly, the most important event marking the 21st century is the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. When we look at the course of world history, we clearly see that such events cause great changes, and every change gives birth to new maps. In this period, when the war between Russia and Ukraine is getting more and more intense, the latest situation on the war map is very important because the details we will see on the map in a moment actually allows us to make predictions for the future. Ukraine, which resists the war and is the projection of Russia's aggressive policy against the Western world, is actually a fortress for the entire Western world. So let's take a look at Russia's decline in the siege of this fortress, which has been unable to seize despite great efforts. Before we get into the developments, I need to give you a small reminder. The Pioneer and its team compiled the latest data on the Russia-Ukraine war from local and international sources and reported for you. So my team and I keep your support to be able to continue this job. You can use the super thanks button below the video to provide us with this support. Thank you. So we have shared with you in our previous map analysis that the green areas seen on the map are the areas previously occupied by Russia but liberated by the Ukrainian army with great struggles. As you can see, it is clear that these green areas, which are the liberated areas, they have increased. The areas liberated by the Ukrainian army with its recent activities also help us read the future of the war. Ukrainian sources have shared very important information in the last few days. Although this information has not yet been confirmed, it foreshadows the impending end of the Bakhmut war. According to many experts, the outcome of the Bakhmut war will be determined by the railway and the train station. This is because the area changes hands every day, and this causes the troops of both sides to be constantly dispatched to the vicinity of the railway station. The Ukrainian army recently managed to break this chain. As you can see from the map, the town of Bakhmut has roads that allow Russia to advance into Ukraine. Therefore, Russia attaches great importance to this small town. The train station and railways in the city are also among the points that Russia wants to obtain to establish supply lines. The Ukrainian army managed to remove the Russian troops here. Wagner troops stationed at Bakhmut train station faced a sudden offensive. The surprise attack of the Ukrainian army caused a shock to the Wagner troops. Wagner Group realized that they could not hold out against the offensive and were forced to retreat. But this retreat was a big one. The Wagner troops at the railway station retreated almost 5 kilometers. The Ukrainian army took up defensive positions in and around the train station. The point where Ukraine aims to advance in the city is the Bakhmutka River. The Ukrainian army wants to establish a natural defense line at this point. In order to comment on the future of Bakhmut, it is necessary to consider the current situation of Russian troops in the region. Russian troops in the region have suffered huge losses as a result of protracted clashes. The Russian troops, whose losses in military personnel and ammunition have increased considerably, are planning to retreat to the forested areas east of Bakhmut if they have to withdraw. So we can infer from this that the Russian army has accepted the withdrawal. Zaporizhia Oblast is a very important region in the south of Ukraine, both for Ukraine and for the Western world. There are several reasons why Zaporizhia is an important location, but one of the most important reasons is that Zaporizhia is actually the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, one of the 10 largest nuclear power plants in the world. In recent days, the Ukrainian army has stepped up its operation in this region, and the most important goal of these operations is to achieve decisive results. So the order given to Ukrainian soldiers in the operation here is go and rescue. The attrition operations against the Russian army have lost their validity here. The news from the front shows that Ukrainian soldiers have successfully carried out the order. For several days now, Ukrainian troops from the previously liberated towns of Zeleny and Chervon have been moving to the Marfopil line. The Ukrainian troops recently reported the good news to the General Staff of Ukraine. Morphopil and several surrounding towns were liberated by the Ukrainian army from the Russian occupiers. With the great determination they have, Ukrainian troops launched a small offensive on the Morphopil line. With the start of the offensive, intense clashes with Russian troops took place. Despite the superiority in firepower, the Russian troops were unable to hold the area and were forced to retreat. This victory of the Ukrainian army shows that the spring offensive is getting closer. We've talked about the spring offensive many times, and many experts often say that Ukraine's spring offensive plan will start from two fronts, north and south. Looking at the map from a broad perspective, we can estimate the exact points from which the Ukrainian army will be able to open its northern and southern fronts with its recent activities. In our previous reports, we stated that the Ukrainian army could open the southern front on the line through Mariupol and Melitopol, starting from the Dnipro River to the Azov Sea. The liberation of Morphopil confirms this theory. The victory in Morphopil is part of Ukrainian army's southern front against Russia. With this line centered on the cities of Mariupol and Melitopol, the Ukrainian army wants to sever Russia's connection with the southern occupation zones. The southern occupied territories include Crimea, which Russia attaches great importance to. Ukraine's President Zelensky is very determined to save Crimea. According to Zelensky, the war started in Crimea and will end in Crimea. While the Ukrainian army has started operations for the line extending from the north to the city of Mariupol, news coming from near Mariupol revealed that there will be support for this line from the south. There was a big explosion in the city of Yalta, located near Mariupol. No clear statement was made by the authorities regarding the explosion, but according to local sources, the explosions here are the work of Ukrainian saboteurs. It is claimed that Ukrainian saboteurs have started to prepare for the southern front to be opened by the Ukrainian army and will soon increase their attack activities in cities such as Berdyansk, Primorsk, which are as important as Yalta. The Ukrainian army, which continues its preparations for the southern front, is also working on the northern front. According to many experts who claim that there will be a two-front offensive, Luhansk continues the northern front of this war. With these fronts, the Ukrainian army wants to break the Russian lines and divide the Russian army into three parts and tear them apart. So the city of Luhansk is a target for the line that will form the northern front. The Ukrainian army has started working to establish this line. In this direction, it is reported that Ukrainian operations have started in the west of Luhansk. Explosions in the Crimean city of Kursk also indicate that the tension on the battlefield will increase. Crimea is the ultimate target of the offensive that the Ukrainian army will launch by forming the southern front. Counter-insurgents in Crimea are also preparing for the offensive to be launched by the Ukrainian army. In the city of Kursk, Ukrainian partisans attacked several military facilities. So, do you think the Ukrainian army can form the southern and northern offensive fronts? Can the progress made by the Ukrainian army be sustained? Do you think Ukraine's offensive plan is sufficient? Please share your opinions with us, and thank you so much for watching this video.